morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am here this lovely Monday morning with Batya. Welcome, Batya.
Hello, everyone. Hello, all you beautiful awakening souls out there. So nice to be here.
It's early Monday morning. Shh. No, I'm just kidding.
Only in your world.
Only in my world. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical wisdom and tools that we take from the wisdom of Kabbalah, which inevitably ends up preparing you for the best week of your lives. But of course, all of those time-based lessons end up translating to lessons and tools and wisdom that you can pull out of your pocket any day of the year, any year of your life. And this week, we're talking specifically about the opportunity, not only this week that the universe is giving us, but the opportunity that we have in this period of the Kabbalistic calendar, which basically covers, well, right now we're in the month of Virgo. It's, I think, the 15th of the month of Virgo, right? We're smack in the middle. We have another 2 weeks of Virgo, and then we enter the month of Libra, which Kabbalistically is about renewal. And we want to create a sort of lay of the land for our listeners to understand not only what's happening, but why it's happening and how to take advantage of it. And I don't know that we've ever done such a broad scope of what's happening. We often tackle the week and then sometimes we tackle the month, but this spans multiple weeks and really deserves a think of it like a GPS, right? Or back in the day we had MapQuest, where we used to print out the map and the step-by-step when to turn, when to make a left. What's MapQuest, Mom? We had a conversation about the Thomas Guide a few episodes ago. Guide? Exactly. Ask your parents or your grandparents.
What's a map?
What a map is. But regardless of how old you are, this energy is affecting you. And that's one of the amazing things about the things we talk about on Weekly Energy Boost is that these things influence us whether we're aware of them or not. So we want to create a situation where if you know there's going to be traffic or construction in the next few weeks, you can either plan to leave the house earlier, find another route, or decide not to go at all. But the more knowledge that you have, the more awareness that you have, the more connected you can be, and the more you can take advantage of these opportunities. So right now we're in the middle of the month of Virgo, which means we're doing the prep work. We're doing the prep work, and the utilization of the prep work comes in the month of Libra. But before I get into where I want to go with that, I want to stop and ask Batya.
Yes,
Batya,
dear.
where do you want to begin this week's episode? What do you want to talk about today?
What do I want to talk about? I am speechless. I wasn't expecting that question.
I can ask a more specific question if you'd like.
Let's have a more specific question.
Why do you, whether you know or you have an opinion, why is it that the universe is constructed in this way where different periods of time give us different opportunities? Why can't we do this in December or April?
Why is it constructed that way? I think is beyond our purview, quite honestly. Why was the earth created the way it was, you know? I don't think that's the right question. I would say I would reframe that question, if you don't mind.
This is why you're here.
Oh, yes. I'd reframe that question to say, this is the way the world works. This is the way nature works. Nature is a reflection of the spiritual laws that guide this universe. And there are immutable laws. They never change. We can't override the system. Now, one of those immutable laws are, let's talk about the moon. The moon has phases. I can't go up there and change the moon, but I can either work with the energy of a new moon. For example, a new moon, as all farmers know, and I'm sure everybody in this who's watching your podcast is a farmer. I'm just kidding. But we all plant seeds. But the fact is, if you want to plant a healthy crop, you would plant it in the new moon. And the new moon is a time for new beginnings. After the full moon, things wane, just like the moon, and we're affected by it. As we know, science has proven that the tides, water on this planet, is affected by the phases of the moon. Now, to answer your question more directly, why can't I dock my ship anytime I want? Well, if I want to save my ship and not destroy it, I would dock my ship when the tide is high, and that supports my ship. But if the tide is low and my ego is big, and I'll say, I'll just dock that tide any old time I feel like it, it's true, I have the free will to do it, but then I also have the free will to pay for the expenses of destroying my ship.
Of working against the laws of nature.
Working against the laws of nature and supernature. So there are laws of nature, which is a reflection of supernature,
Okay.
which are the energy, waves of energy, cycles of energy, however you want to put it, that are in effect the way the laws of nature are in effect. Now we can override with our egos. We can override. Look what happens when we try to override and not work within the parameters of nature. We're unfortunately, as a global population, we're destroying our own planet because of that. Because unlike ancient civilizations, which they were way more wiser than us, and they worked within, and certain cultures and indigenous populations, they learned to work within the cycles of time, the cycles of nature. So, does that answer your question?
It does. I think what I love about what you said is that, first of all, you asked me to ask the question twice, and then you said you're going to ask another question. I like the way that happened. I don't know if you noticed it, but it was very subtle.
Spiritual kung fu.
I admire
I give
that
classes just in spiritual kung fu. I'm just kidding. Please don't contact me.
No, what's interesting is that when Batya asked her version of the question, then I had my answer.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think it's important to also give in the construct of what we're going to share to the details of what's special about this time is that within the fabric of the universe was woven these different opportunities to strengthen ourselves, to tap into energy, and also to use that energy. Similar to what you were saying about the respect and the willingness of previous generations to work within the framework, we seem to be a generation that works.
We're very disconnected from the framework.
Right.
But I want to pull if you don't mind, I'd like to pull the focus out a little bit to a wider perspective, a bigger picture. So we have creation. We have the planet. We have cycles. We have cycles of time. As I mentioned, the phases of the moon. And there's this beautiful poem-like set of instructions in the book of Ecclesiastes. They even made a song out of it back, I think, in the 70s, 60s, or 70s. There's a time and a place for everything, in every purpose, under nature, under heaven, right?
There is don't get us started. The podcast will become a karaoke session.
Yes. I was actually restricting that, by the way. I was going to break out in song, but
we do it often on the Weekly Energy Boost.
I know. Anyway, if you listen to the words of it, look it up in Ecclesiastes. I wish I could cite the chapter and verse, but it escapes me at the moment.
It's by the Birds. It's called
Birds.
To Everything, Turn, Turn, Turn.
Yes.
But it's a quote from the Bible.
Yes, from Ecclesiastes specifically. And it's, the Bible, by the way, is an instruction manual. It's a coded instruction manual. It's not a history book. In Kabbalah, we don't treat it as a religion, as a religious text that we have to, follow those rules, because if we don't, we're going to hell, and if we do, we'll get a reward. That paradigm is a very destructive paradigm, and it doesn't work. And feel free to keep following it if you like, but Kabbalistically, we know that doesn't work. So where a system was created, and my point here is in the system of creation is a system based on love, and it's a system based on growth, evolution, learning to lessons, and we evolve as every soul that comes to this planet and has a soul contract, and we came to fulfill our contracts. And so this system was created so we would succeed, to fulfill our potential, to be living gods on this planet, and treat it with respect as we treat each other with respect, as we treat creation with respect. And in that, if I might frame it that way, now you're going to ask, why is this time special? What's so special about this month? the month of Virgo? What is it? How is it Virgo? And these next few weeks in this month of Virgo, how is it setting us up to succeed in life? How is it, Elisheva?
Well, we spoke actually a couple weeks ago that the energy of the unevolved Virgo can be very critical, can be very judgmental, can be very nitpicky, focusing on the minutia rather than being reflective of the bigger picture. And the month of Virgo, according to the Kabbalistic calendar, is the last month of the human year. There are different cycles, yearly cycles. One of them is for the plant kingdom, one of them is for the human kingdom. The actual beginning of the calendar, the calendar itself starts in another period. But right now we're building up to the new year for humanity.
It's the birthday of humanity.
It's the birthday.
The new moon of Libra.
Right. The new moon of Libra is the birthday of humanity. And therefore, every year we have the opportunity to connect in that period, those first 2 days of the month of Libra, in a approach of rebirth. There's a renewal of energy, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we believe in it or not. On a metaphysical level, we are all being tapped up to filling our battery pack with the energy that we're going to need for the coming year. And therefore, these 4 weeks preceding that support us to be reflective, whether that reflection comes out critically and judgmentally, seeing the glass half full, focusing on the mistakes and the darkness and what's wrong with me and how I failed and poor me, or this is how far I've come and this is where I want to go. This is what I would have done differently, and this is what I'm going to do next time. And to use that meticulousness about the ways that we can upgrade ourselves in the coming year, not in a logical, I use the word like a lot. I should stop using the word like. As an example, you could say that about many people, I'm sure, on the planet, but rather...
Like who?
Like,
I'm just kidding.
But the truth is, we want to use that energy to focus. This is how I'm using it this year personally, is to recognize all of the self-limiting things that I do, the ways that I get in my own way, so that in the coming year, once I get to renew my battery, recharge my battery for the coming year, I'm not asking for the things I want to accomplish and achieve and be fulfilled by based on the person that I am right now. I want to be able to ask in an unlimited way, in a limitless and beyond all my fantasies kind of way. Mm-hmm. And that requires me to see how, and we've been talking about this the last few weeks anyway, how I inadvertently plug that channel up to receive all of those things that I want. So that we're now, my husband uses the metaphor of, if the month of Libra is the great cosmic dishwasher, the month of Virgo is when we walk through the house trying to find the missing coffee cups, the dirty plates and spoons and forks. We're loading the dishwasher so that we can be free from that which is holding us back or that which doesn't serve us anymore going forward.
That makes so much sense that he would use that metaphor in your
the
home.
Dishwasher that he is in my home.
Yes. Okay.
Well, but I think what you were saying before about the trap that we can fall into when we approach quote unquote holidays, or as we call them, cosmic windows or windows in time, where it's pretty much ingrained in us to look at those things as traditions or religious observances, when the Kabbalists teach that this is something that was woven into the fabric of creation. These cosmic, it's not like the planet Mercury that controls the month of Virgo says, I'm going to give this opportunity to just these people or just that country. The energy, if you're aware of it, or I guess it doesn't matter if you're aware of it.
Well, religion is a man-made product, as opposed to spirituality. I mean, in Kabbalah, it's not a religion. The way I describe Kabbalah is that, think of a religion as a trail up the mountain. And, you have all these, name any religion, and there's a trail up the mountain, and then Kabbalah is the mountain. It shows you, it's the Thomas guide. It's the map.
It's got all the possible routes.
All the possible routes. So it doesn't matter, just like electricity will work whether you believe in it or not. It's going to follow the laws of electricity. Either you work with it or get electrocuted, but not because you're rewarded or punished, because it's cause and effect. And that's why it's such a powerful wisdom to know, and to know where the way I call the new moon of Libra, we call it. I call it a 48. It's 48 hours, and it's a 48 hour time space portal. Really, that's what it is. And when you connect to it in a certain way, using certain meditations, you get. It's a shortcut to another timeline where you can shift into another timeline, which is the life you want, and you can leave that low resonating life and shift into a life of higher resonance. Really, you can, and I've seen it. I've experienced it myself. I know other people who have, and so this month is to prepare for that time-space portal the best we can.
When we get to the new moon of Libra, we talk about new moons on Weekly Energy Boost. Every new moon, but the unique opportunity of the month of Libra is not just those first 2 days. There's basically 22 days out of the 30 that we spend in some sort of download or plugging into something.
Yeah, yes, we're being downloaded with certain enhancements for the whole year.
That's a great way to think of it.
However, the beginning of that is that you've got to enter that time-space portal on the new moon of Libra. I mean, that's the beginning of the process, and the most important part of the process. I mean, the whole process is important, don't get me wrong, but that's the beginning of it. And so what we're doing now, using the energy, taking advantage of the Virgo energy. It's not about what's wrong with me. I'm a bad person. What can I do I gotta fix myself. I gotta change this about myself. I gotta change that about myself. I'm such a loser and I want to be a winner. And, all of that is a waste of time. And if any of you are in that process, whether it's today or any day of the year, I highly recommend that you just drop that way of living. It is so not helpful. It's not spiritual. It won't get you what you really want out of life. And so you might be thinking at this point, well, what will get me what I want out of life? And here it is. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You are a diamond. You've always been a diamond. You are perfect in your soul's essence as you are. However, your diamond is dropped into a garbage can and is now filled with a lot of, not filled, but covered in garbage. And so the month of Virgo is peeling away another layer of a broken belief system about myself and about others and about the world. And I call the new moon of Libra, those first 48 hours, as an assessment, like we're going in for a supernal assessment. So think of it like this. Let's go back to the bigger picture. Soul makes a contract before it comes to this world. And to fulfill our contract is to fulfill our potential. Now, just like any kind of, if you were the CEO, imagine you're the CEO of a company, and you want to make sure that your company is operating at a profit. So, you want to bring in all the staff, and they go in for a yearly assessment. And as the CEO, you say to employee A, okay, employee A, we had a contract. We have a contract. You said you're going to get a certain amount of stuff done in the company over an 80 or 100-year period. And where are you now? Are we still on track? And you look at the files of that employee, say, you're a little off track. What can we do to get you back on track, right? So every year we go through a mini life review, you might say, where we get to review, like, am I on track for really who I'm meant to be? I'm on track to remove all those layers of garbage so that the purity of my diamond can reveal itself 100% to maximum capacity? Or is there stuff in the way? But make no mistake about this. you who you are, you're a perfect diamond. You have to keep reminding, I'm a diamond, I'm a diamond, I'm a diamond. You got fired, I'm a diamond. They left you, I'm a diamond. The deal fell through, I'm a diamond. It didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out, I'm a diamond. I swiped left so many times on that single app and I still can't find I'm dealing with creeps. I'm a diamond. I'm a diamond, I'm a diamond, I'm a diamond. And I have some garbage in my vicinity, and the garbage would look like, oh, they say I can't make it because I'm X, or I have a belief system that I don't have a degree, so I can't make, I can't be in that field, or some other kind of limiting belief. So think of every piece of garbage in the trash can is like another limiting belief that we want to remove. And so when we find that we have limiting beliefs, or we find that because of our limiting beliefs, we've developed certain, reactive habits as a result of those limiting beliefs. And then, let's say somebody doesn't believe in themselves. They don't feel they're safe in the world. They don't feel like they feel alone, or, and so what do? The pain of feeling alone is so great. You know what? I'm going to control everything I can in my environment so I don't have to get triggered about the fact that I'm not supported. And then everybody calls that person controlling. Well, being controlling is not the problem. Controlling is the effect of not feeling safe. Am I making myself clear?
100%.
So this month, we have a particular support from the cosmos to say, oh, wow, in May or in April, it's not going to be that same kind of supportive energy. So just like I love to use the analogy of being at the beach, right? And let's say you're a surfer at the beach. You have the potential to be a surfer, but you're standing there at the shore and you're at the waves are coming in, and you look at that big wave coming in and go, whoa, that's a big wave. And then it hits and knocks you over, and you're going, oh my God, I'm a victim of the world. That's one scenario. Or you could say, oh, that's a big wave. I am going to get on my surfboard. I'm going to ride out to meet it, and I'm going to ride that wave all the way back to the shore. That's what it is to work with the system. That's what it is to work with the energy of Virgo. Wow. Yeah, I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to smoke cigarettes. I don't want to smoke weed anymore. I don't want to watch porn anymore. I don't want to overeat anymore. I don't want to overshop anymore. I have all these different habits. They don't serve me, and I feel stuck. This is the month where you could really use that energy to clear out the cause of those habits, and going back to your remembering that you are a diamond, and revealing and what is that belief system I have, that broken belief system, like a leaf of garbage. What is it that somehow I fell into believing about myself? It's not true, because I know I'm a diamond because Batya said so. So I know I'm a diamond now. And let's say you don't believe me. And I encourage you to say to yourself, well, if I did believe if I did actually know that I'm a diamond, if I knew I was a diamond, what would my next decision be? How would I handle this? Yes, I am not my addiction. I am not my addiction. I am not my false or damaging character traits. I am not those things. And when I know I'm a diamond, now I'm empowered to say, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to replace it with a better habit. I'm going to replace it with a better environment. I'm going to replace it with a better desire for myself and for the people that I want to be in relationship with. I don't mean to hog the podcast. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Podcast hog.
Well,
I'm trying to, as I often try to do on the podcast, I'm trying to listen to what you're saying, not knowing it, but hearing it for the first time. And I'm thinking to myself, if I were listening to you for the first time, hearing this information, hearing this knowledge for the first time, the question that would come to my mind is, why does it happen every year? Why isn't it enough for me to, weekly energy boost.
We're constantly evolving. What do you mean? Of course.
Well, so let me ask the full question.
Okay, sorry.
If what you're saying is true, and if the month of Virgo gives us this opportunity, and the month of Libra is going to give us the opportunity, we'll talk about it in a minute a little bit more, Why do I need to do it more than once? Why isn't that download of Virgo energy good enough to last me all that time? And assuming that I rise to the call and I make these spiritual connections that the Kabbalists have outlined, why do I still fall back into some of those unhealthy habits? Or even though I know certain things aren't good for me and I've drawn this energy to support me in making better choices, somehow I still make messed up choices. Why is that?
Okay, let's go back to the bigger picture again. Soul. Yep, let's zoom out. Soul makes a contract. Who does the soul make the contract with? The creator.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. No, not exactly.
Across the street.
With the universe. Every soul is a drop in the ocean of the one soul that we all are. Did you talk about this in other podcasts? Light and vessel.
I'm sure
creative
we have.
force. There's a creative force that is essence is pure sharing. And the vessel that it created received the sharing, and then the vessel had the taste of what sharing feels like, the ecstasy of sharing, and the vessel said, "Oh wow, I want to be creator too." So inherent in our DNA is we want to be the cause. We want to be the master of our environment. It's in everyone's DNA. In order to do that, we asked for a test. We asked for an opportunity to practice. So creation, according to the Zohar, according to the Kabbalists, you don't have to believe me about this paradigm. However, listen, be open to listen to it, and then I'll explain why. So the creator, life force energy, created a hologram, and we call it planet Earth. And this hologram is nothing but different levels of frequency. And science now has proven that to be correct. So it looks like we live in a physical universe, but actually it's all constantly moving, subatomic particles moving in this field of energy. And so none of it is real. The only thing that's real about us is our consciousness. But we asked for it to be in this supercharged video game, you might say, or 3D. We put on our 3D goggles, and here we are in this holographic universe where we're practicing the laws of cause and effect. And by learning to implement the laws of cause and effect, this is how we grow in our consciousness. We learn lessons. We ask for different lessons, ask for different scenarios in our life so that we can learn to grow our love and our compassion, and to be able to be the master, to master that and not be reactive to anything that happens to us.
I got it. Or at least let's say I got it for now.
You got it for now. So as we grow, just like as our physical illusionary earth suits, virtual reality suits also grow. So can you wear the same clothes you wore when you were 5 years old? No. You're growing out of them, and so you wear them out, and so you need a new set of clothes. Yes, I had an epiphany last year, but that epiphany helped me last year, but my consciousness is growing, so I need new experiences. I need to constantly be renewing myself, my consciousness, by using these tools, these God-given tools, if you wish. Now, I hope none of you believe anything I said. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm simply saying, check it out for yourself. That's all you have to do. Check it out for yourself. If I'm lying, don't believe me. If I'm not lying, though, and you check it out for yourself and you've never done this before, and you know what? Let's see, my life has sucked up until this point, or things are not going that great. I really could use a change. So you've got nothing to lose by considering everything we've been talking about in this podcast, and maybe make a subtle change in your mindset. Number one, I'm a diamond. I'm already okay. I'm already okay. There's nothing wrong with me that if I do these things, I follow these rules, then redemption will come. Then somebody will forgive me. God will forgive me, and I'm not going to hell. No, you're already a diamond. You create your own heaven and hell by either working in alignment with these metaphysical laws or not. And that's how it goes. But don't believe me, really, implement them, try them out for yourself, and see how it works for you.
As you're talking,
Yes.
Again, I'm listening through the ears of our audience, and I'm thinking a couple things, and I'll share, and then I'll bounce back to ask you the question. When we think about the concept of holidays, which at the end of the day, part of what's involved in what we're talking about is specific cosmic windows which open for a limited period of time, give us the opportunity.
What's the name window?
No, but that idea that it's not, there's certain energies that all of it, or I should say it like this, all of the energy is the light force of the creator, and in different times there are broadcasts at different frequencies.
Yes.
Okay. So when certain windows open, and I'll use the 48 hours that go by the code name Rosh Hashanah, which means the head of the year, those 48 hours that mark the birth of humanity and the renewal of the energy for the year for us.
At the time-space portal.
And that time-space portal you so lovingly referred to.
Because that's what it is. And, if you don't refer to it to that, people think it's a day like Monday. No, it's not a day like Monday.
So
it's a time-space portal. Before you continue, I want to share something that Rav Berg wrote in one of his books. It was called The Power of One, or The Power of You. I don't know if it's still...
I think it's The Power of You now.
The Power of You now. Yeah, I know they changed the title. And Rav Berg wrote in there something so mind-blowing for me. And this is the way... time doesn't exist outside of Earth time. I just want you to know. We think the way we relate to time is a linear experience, when there really is no such thing. There is no such thing as time. It's part of the holographic universe that we're accustomed to, or we were subjected to in this dimension. And so, I know I just dropped a little bomb there for you to what did she just say? Yes. Now, imagine, if you're imagining now, going through your life, think of time as walking down a hallway. And at the end of the hallway, there's a wall. And that wall is moving. Can you imagine that? Take The Shining, like that famous scene of those little twins at the end. Take out all the horror part of it. Think of it like a long hallway. It's not a horror show. It's not a horror experience. It's a beautiful experience. And if you're walking down that hallway, a beautiful hallway, and the wall at the end of the hallway is moving. It's constantly moving. Got that? It's a sliding wall, keeps moving, moving, moving. And as you're walking down, and when you get to the wall, as it's sliding, there's a window. And if you go through the window, you're going through that time-space portal. But if you choose not to go through the window, you just you miss that opportunity, and there's the wall again. Now, Rosh Hashanah is that window that's moving. If you miss it, you miss it for the year. But don't worry, you get another chance next year. If you want to wait, you're going to have to wait a whole new year in order to capture the opportunity to make a significant shift, a jump into another timeline where there's many timelines all existing at the same time. So there's the you that's miserable maybe and not happy with your life, your relationships, whatever. And then there's another you that's existing on another timeline that's having a fantastic life. Just saying. There's that you that's having that fantastic life. And would you like to stay in the one you're in now, or do you want to jump into that higher resonating life where you're having a fantastic relationship and you're doing what you love to do, and your money isn't an issue and you're feeling freedom? Now, how are you going to get from this life to that life? Well, you're not going to get there logically. Let me just say that. So there's something else outside the realm of the five senses that we need to tap into, and that's the time-space portals. There's a few of them. A number of them in the month of Libra. The first entryway is that time-space portal. Did I make myself clear?
Mm-hmm. My question, however, was, the window opens.
Yes.
I know about it. I learned about it. I did my research. I'm participating. But if you also learn about the different cosmic windows that open, not only in the month of Libra, but throughout the Kabbalistic calendar, throughout the year, there are different tools that we use,
right,
and different rituals, spear rituals that are employed. Why do we need those media to help us connect to those different time-space portals.
I'm gonna give you an answer now that's gonna sound like I'm not answering it, but I am answering. And here we are. Imagine that you're sitting in your living room and you put on those 3D goggles. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, your brain, your mind, you're sitting in your living room, but your body is responding to whatever is going on in those 3D goggles. So you're sitting in your living room and you're sitting there with the goggles on, the virtual reality, I'm saying not the 3D, the virtual reality goggles. You know what I'm talking about, right? And in the virtual reality goggles, there are zombies that are coming to eat your flesh. Now, you know that there's no zombies, no one's eating my flesh, but your body is still responding to it. Your body is still getting excited. Your body is still sweating. Your body is getting nervous. Where are the guns? Where are the things? I've watched people do this. And why am I saying this? Why am I sharing this? Because even though on one level of consciousness, we know we're okay and we're diamonds, on another level, being the fact that we are subjected to this holographic existence as part to help us get there, to help us get to that high dimension, we asked to do something. We asked us that I can't just, well, some very, very high elevated souls can do it, but the rest of us need to do some actions. We need those tools to convince our subconscious and superconscious mind that we now have earned the right to have the result we want.
Got it. That was, I do see how you answered the question.
Yes. Yes, because people get reactive to their environments. Right? And then when the person gets reactive to their environment, they say, oh, I can't because my environment said. I can't do that. My environment said. I can't afford that because my environment said. And then if your environment, you mean the hologram is your boss. Your hologram is your slave master. No, we came here to be the master, and the hologram is meant to serve us. However, human nature is that it must do something or have the illusion of doing something. So we do these rituals, if I could call it that, these connections, these certain blessings, prayers, or whatever you want to call it. I call it activating certain subconscious and superconscious programs that people much wiser than us and way more enlightened than us put together. And by following that, it's like a computer code or like a combination that opens up that door to step into that portal. And right now, at my level of what's the word? I don't want to say intelligence, but whatever.
The level I'm operating at now.
I'm operating on. I need the illusion, like the gun that's killing the zombies in the virtual reality program. I need to do these steps because that allows me, that gives my soul permission to reveal itself in a much more stronger way.
Beautiful. I think you can just drop the mic right there. Something else that's happening this week, not dependent on the Kabbalistic calendar, but we wanted to make sure our listeners are aware, is we have a seminar on Wednesday night. You can find all the details on weeklyenergyboost.com. There's a special, click the link, it'll take you to the registration. But basically, we're using this energy of renewal, restoration, accounting the past year, planning to not allow the environment and the habits and everything else to get in our way. We have a seminar on Wednesday night. You can register. If you're listening to it afterwards, you can receive the recording and catch up. But it's another way that we want to help our listeners tap into and plug into the unique opportunity of this particular time of year. So it is on Wednesday, September 7th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. But again, you can always sign up and listen to the recording and participate at your own pace. All that information is at weeklyenergyboost.com, where you'll also be able to find out more about what Batya does in her spare time. LOL. All that spare time that Batya has. And as always, you can find the Weekly Energy Boost on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, We want to hear from you. Like, rate, review. You can write to us at weeklyenergyboost.com. As always, Batya, it's been a pleasure to have you, and I think we're going to have you again very soon because I have a lot of questions. We need to unfinished business. We have some unfinished business.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Elisheva. Anytime.
And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.